Good morning, gang. Joyce Welsh with Skipping Calves Farms here this morning. And I just opened the fresh forage up to the mowing crew. They've been out here for several days. I'm going to pan back here. And we opened it up from basically where I'm standing. You can kind of see the graze line here. Going back, that goes back 3 days back to the paddock up at the other perimeter fence. So I'm panning back around here, and they just got released and came down here, and they are up to their bellies in plantain. And you can see there are a lot of seed pods here. And yeah, I let it get more mature than I would have liked to, but I didn't start with livestock on my property until almost the end of May, which is the end of spring flush. So I was kind of behind the power curve. But look at those sheep. They are eating those seed pods like crazy. And they love this plantain. And this particular small batch of plantain has not been grazed. It didn't get included in the first round of grazing. Well, it did get grazed, but very lightly. So it's come back very, very nicely. So, say they're up to their backs in plantain, and they'll be on this for today, and should have that grazed back down, and then we'll move on to the next area. But well, one of my points of this video is, number one, I love watching my animals, and I sure hope you do too. And if you do, like and subscribe. But they are not quite like cattle, and they're not quite like any other sheep. Now, granted, I've only got 3, and it's a small place to start. My point is this: watching your animals, watching your pasture before they go in, kind of get an idea of what's there, kind of get an idea of what's not, and taking just a couple of minutes every day to follow them into the new pasture and see what they go after first. It surprises me a little bit that they are going after the seed pods as hard as they are, but they're also going after the plants. So when they are done, it's not going to look like this anymore, gang. It's going to look like, I'm panning back here now. Let me zoom out. It's going to look like this. Now let me see if I can get down the camera low enough and give you a camera angle. Like I said, I'm right about the graze line, and I'm about 8 inches off the ground. So you can see they grazed it down to about 8 inches. Now as I pan around, I'm going to have to kind of lift up to shift my weight a little bit, and I pan back down looking this way. That's a whole different view, and part of that is all of those seeds. And so when people say, you know, an animal that's on grass never gets grain, well, what do you think these seed pods are? That's one reason why I think sheep are so much more efficient, or more efficient, than cattle, because they have a natural affinity for more diversity. So that means they're going to make more out of less, because that's what they've always done. That's what they do. And so here comes Big Mama. She split her hoof, and her right front foot is a little sore. It's like if you get a hangnail or split a nail below the quick. that's what happened to her hoof, and we got it doctored up. She's doing better. And coming over and finding out what's in my hand, see if there's anything good to eat. That's what it really was all about. So, with that, gang, I'm going to get back to my chores because they're just busy pigging out. It's like watching teenagers at the breakfast table. Really isn't that a great thing to watch, but, you know, it's a good thing to happen because you know that they're healthy and they're growing and they're just being what they are. Happy and healthy critters. So with that, I'm gonna pan over here to the chickens, and here's the chicken tractor. But wait a minute, let's go back here to the grape arbor. We passed something. Look at these little munchkins. If I can hold the camera still. Look at those little munchkins. They're out there in the grape arbor, grazing and carrying on. They've discovered they can step in between the squares on the poultry fence. Mama's right over there in the corner of the poultry fence, and she's none too happy about it. But there's not much she can do about it. Now, let me just put you at ease. At this point in time, I don't have power turned on to that poultry fence. So I don't want the little ones to get shocked if they should happen to bounce up against a hot wire. But those poultry nets, at least the one I've got, if my memory serves me right, the bottom two rungs aren't hot anyway. And the idea is that way if something little, look at there, playing among the blackberries. That way if something little goes in between there, they're not going to get shocked and freaked out. And so, I tell you what, it's the early-ish morning in the middle of the week, and I am so lucky. I work hard, I've had some good mentors, and some of the best mentors I've had are online. I've learned a lot of good information from Greg Judy and Joel Salatin and Justin Rhodes and all the big names. I've read Gabe Brown's work, and there's a lot of other folks coming on. But those pioneers have got the experience. And the one thing you can't get online is experience. But you can try and glean some from their work, which is what I have tried to do. So with that, gang, I wish you blessings for the day. And whatever you do, just keep chasing the dream.